Number 5 is finding all possible asymptotes. The first thing is to find vertical if there are any. Your vertical asymptotes is always whatever your denominator is when it equals 0. In this problem, our denominator is x plus 2. I'm going to take that denominator, make it equal to 0, and my vertical asymptote is x equals negative 2. That means when I actually graph this function in the calculator, the graph will not cross at the line x equals negative 2. To see if there's a horizontal asymptote, we need to look at the degrees of the numerator and the denominator. The degree of the top is 2. The degree of the bottom denominator is 1. So this degree on the top is bigger than the one on the bottom. We do not have a horizontal asymptote, but we do have an oblique asymptote. Because the degree on the top is bigger than the one on the bottom, we have to do our long division to find our oblique asymptote. So let's set up our long division. The denominator is the divisor. Inside is the numerator. If there wasn't a value that's there, we would have to put a placeholder, but since we have an x squared, an x, and a constant, we are good. So we need to figure out how many x's could go into x squared. 1x. We put that answer on the top. Now we take that x on the top and multiply it by each term that's outside. So x times x is x squared, and I'm going to subtract that. Then I take the x again and multiply it by the 2. X times 2 is 2x. Since I'm subtracting it, I'm going to immediately change it to the minus. And I'm putting it under the same like term. Now I go ahead and actually subtract. So x squared minus x squared reduces to nothing, and 8x minus 2x is 6x. Now I need to bring down whatever I didn't use, which was the positive 9. I go ahead now and repeat the whole thing again, looking at now 6x and 9 with the outside. So how many times do I need for x to get into 6x? I need a 6. So I'm going to put plus 6 on the top, and I'm going to repeat the process again of taking the 6 and multiplying it by the divisor outside. 6 times x is 6x, which is minus, and 6 times positive 2 is positive 12, but since I'm subtracting, I'm going to make it minus 12. Now I go ahead and subtract them. 6x minus 6x cancels, and 9 minus 12 is negative 3. This is my remainder. My top, my answer is my oblique asymptote, so it is y equals x plus 6.